What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're here at my shop with another exciting project. Just went yesterday and picked this guy up. This is a 1983 Ford F-250 extended cab XLT, and as you can see, it's pretty beat up. Previous owner lost the key, so he tried to drill the ignition and that didn't work. But it's pretty hammered in here, but it has potential. It's a really cool truck in the fact that it has a diesel, but this is like the grandfather of all the 6.0s, 6.4s, 6.7s. This is a 6.9 non-turbo diesel. It's called an IDI, it's indirect injection, where you can see the injectors right here. There's a secondary combustion chamber on the head where it injects the fuel into. So this is like ancient technology. I mean, there's not a computer on this thing. Your accelerator pedal is hooked to this valve right here that allows more fuel into the injection pump. So it's 100% mechanical. This one had a mouse infestation, but as you can see, it's a pretty cool truck. There's vacuum pump, just like you see on some of the new ones. And this is a factory AC truck. So I went ahead and pulled the batteries out. They are from 2016. And I don't know why they put new batteries in it. Maybe trying to start it, but they, yeah, they told me that absolutely nothing happened with it last time they tried to start it, which was in 2016. So they killed the batteries, then gave up on it, and it's been sitting since then. But this is the bullnose style. I really like how this truck looks. I've always liked these things, and the fact that I found an extended cab one is pretty cool. The body's pretty straight. I mean, at one point it had a camper on here, and then underneath this god-awful piece of plywood, there is a bed that doesn't have holes in it, and it also has a gooseneck ball. You can see there's a little bit of issues here, but pretty sure this used to be a CB antenna. You'd lock onto it, and it looks like someone decided to use some blue spray paint at one point, but you can see it's got the 7-pin connection, got a rust hole there, but twin tanks, which is kind of cool. But it's a pretty cool truck. I mean, I got it for a song, which as I should have, because the things you look at is just a piece, but someone had put Super Duty seats in here, which is a lot more comfortable, and has this choice piece of wood right here. But yeah, I mean, for a factory AC truck, it's pretty unique. Someone put a trailer brake controller in it, and it's got the little Brody knob on it. But I like it. There's some infinity speakers in it, which is cool. Sweet, some cigarette packs, which is awesome. I'm gonna have to fix that rear seat. I don't even know what's in here. I haven't gone through the dang thing, but it looks pretty nasty. But I just think it's a unique truck. The sliding rear window, which is cool. Actually kind of surprised it doesn't have a gun rack. But, you know, in this year vehicle, it's kind of, there's some rat stuff in there too. It's interesting to have power door locks and power windows, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna do some fun stuff with this old girl. I just have to get her figured out. I'm gonna have to have my buddy come. He's gonna come out and we're gonna fiddle with the column. Probably gonna have to buy a new piece of this because the guy destroyed the key cylinder in its housing, but needs quite a bit of work. It's a 4-wheel drive truck. This one has what's called twin traction beam suspension. So instead of a solid front axle, it has a, it's kind of like the axle pivots near the center. You can see right here it pivots, so there's basically two halves of it, and it's an okay setup. They just chew up ball joints if you put big tires on it. When we went to pick it up, none of this steering was there, so we couldn't turn the tires. So we found it in the bed. We just held it together with coat hangers because all the nuts are gone. But you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Gotta do some hillbilly fixes in the field. So just kind of wanted to show you guys. This thing's an automatic. It's got a C6 transmission, which is only a 3-speed, which is okay. But you know, once you're going like 60 on the highway, that's kind of it. So you don't want to overspeed it. But like I said, there was some rodent activity in here. They got in here and chewed the hell out of everything. But got to figure out where half of these other wires go that are gone. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys the project and kind of introduce you to it. Not sure what I'm going to call it. This is a good old girl, so I'm really excited to put her back together because this truck is as old as I am. So I'm kind of curious to see if the batteries are going to take a charge. I have them on an old school charger that just pretty much hits them with voltage, and we'll see what it's going to do. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. All right, now what we did the other day is we started taking the steering column out because, as I showed you, this one's all booty and destroyed. So it's not a terrible undertaking. There's 3 bolts here to take this fascia off, and then you got 5 back there, then 2 here, and then the stuff under the hood, which consists of this shift linkage and this collar right here for the steering wheel itself. It goes to the steering shaft, and picked up this whole thing for $100. And as you notice, it has a key, which is the reason why this one was being problematic in the first place. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the finish pulling the old column out, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, got her out, and here's the old one. It's all butchered, and here's the new one. It wasn't bad at all. About 10-15 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and get the new one started. Hardest thing was popping that shift linkage off out of the little bushing, because the thing's ancient, so the plastic's super hard. We're gonna go ahead and swap the new one in now. All right, new column's in. What I want to show you guys is how to set the gear indicator. Now I know on some of the newer trucks, this thing can kind of get out of tune. Well, there's this little white cable right here that controls tension on it, and as you can see, you move it back and forth and it'll change. So what you do is move it in park and then go to reverse, which is the first gear, and then you move it down, put it where you want, hold it, then you go to neutral and drive. Okay, so it's good. So move it back and drive. So set it right there, then tighten it down. And there you have it. You have your gear selector. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and lube this key up a little bit because it's kind of sticky, but we have our gears, so we lube this up, then I'm gonna go ahead and put the steering wheel on and we can proceed. It's getting closer. Went ahead and got the gear shift hooked back up, got the steering shaft hooked back up, and we're getting there, guys. All right, got the steering wheel on. That's good. Keys right there. Went ahead and got some new batteries. Now the other ones did charge, but I just don't trust them to roll this old girl over. So went ahead and did a little bit of a wire repair here because of the damn mice that were under here. Just some cut and splice, nothing fancy. And unscrewed the fuel filter. Now nobody here locally has one, so we're gonna go ahead and reuse it. But the diesel in there was absolutely disgusting, so it was disposed of properly. So we're gonna go ahead and fill the filter back up with some fresh diesel. Don't want that injection pump getting all that frickin' 10-year-old diesel. That wouldn't be the best for it. So, a little more. There we go. Tilt the stuff on the top off. Now if you recall, the date on this fuel filter was from 14. Now according to the kit I got it from, that was the last time it ran. It looks like those other batteries were dated 16, so someone had put batteries in it in 2016 and tried to start it, but there was no joy. So put this fella back on. Nothing but the finest used filter for this classy vehicle. Come on. I'm gonna try to tighten it up best I can. There we go. Now, is there any coolant? No. God, I hope the block's not cracked. That would suck. These 83, 84, and early 85s had an issue with the block cracking. And when it does, you're screwed. So I'm hoping that there was a hole in a hose, and that's not why there's no coolant in the dang thing. But we're gonna start it anyway, nonetheless. It's funny that it has the oil cooler down there just like a 7.3 Power Stroke, but it is not, and it's got these tiny little head bolts. Look at those guys like, hey guys, can I play too? But anyway, I'm gonna stuff the batteries in here. We're gonna see what she does. Got the positives on. Now what I like to do is I just touch it for a split second, because you don't want to just throw it on really quick, because if anything's going to short out, it's going to short out when I touch this on there. So we want to make sure it's not going to freak out. Some relay over there lighting up. Just put it on lightly. Now I got my handy dandy fire extinguisher just in case. I'll make sure that the trailer controller is not doing anything. Sounds like something to do with the headlights. See if the headlights work. Sweet, they do. All right, well, let's go ahead and turn that off. And then let me make sure the brake lights work. Dude, this truck's mint. Look at that diesel, son. What? Let's drop chains, cuz. I'll turn that off. And go ahead and hook our other battery up. Now, I don't think there's an ice cube's chance in heck this thing's gonna start right now, but we'll see. When I changed the fuel filter, a lot of fuel went down there on that glow plug, so I made sure to sop it up. We don't want our choice vehicle to experience any unexpected fires. And turn that off. The little Brody knob still there. Now let's first off see how much fuel's in this thing. Let's check the rear tank. Oh no, it says it's full, almost. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and fill this front tank to help dilute some of the crap that's in there. So I'll be back with you. Now what I am gonna do is dump these two guys in there. This is a bottle of Power Service Diesel Clean. Cleans dirty injectors, boosts power, improves fuel economy, prevents injectors sticking. These injectors are disgusting. So, I'm sorry, this fuel is disgusting. So, I'm gonna dump it all in. And I'm gonna put a quart of automatic transmission fluid in there. It helps lube the injection pump and all the other fun stuff. Never hurts to keep a quart of this in your truck if you run the other kind of diesel, because as we know, that diesel dyes your filters red and ATF is red, but you didn't hear that from me. And never hurts to put some ATF in there and keep a bottle with you in the truck, because yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, we're pretty full. Crap. All right. I guess that existing diesel in there is pretty damn full, so don't really have any option, it looks like. So we'll go ahead and dump this stuff in the rear tank. At least we got the diesel clean in the front. I got the tanks full, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Be nice if it started. Ooh, I gotta get that screw out of there, but I'll worry about that later. Uh-oh. Doesn't even look like it's trying to start. There's glow plugs. That's weird. All right, guess I got to sort this guy out. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we little update. We got old girl inside because it's freaking nasty outside, and went ahead and cleaned her a little bit. I know it still looks dirty, but pulled that nasty carpet out and everything. And what we were having before is the ignition switch, when you would turn the key, was not starting the truck. So I went ahead and replaced the ignition switch. This is what it looks like. Basically, this thing mounts on the side of the steering column, and when you turn the key, there's this rod here that moves forward, and the rod engages this and makes it start. Well, over time these switches get all gummed up and gross. It's just a bunch of copper contacts that this thing slides on. They get gross. So what was happening with the other truck is, one, it wasn't starting, and two, the gauges weren't working, so I knew something was wrong. So I went ahead and changed this switch, but put the switch in and the gauges worked and everything else, but I turned the key and it still wouldn't work. So what I did is I basically came over to here where I showed you guys I had to do all this repair. This wire right here is basically the starter wire. When you turn the key, it sends 12 volts through this wire. It's supposed to go to this terminal on the starter solenoid, which connects these two and sends power down to the starter. Well, I had no power here, and so when I first got the truck, I had to put this little wire nut on here because a rat had ate it. So I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't work. So what I ended up doing is plugging one end of my meter into here and then tracing the wire right here, because this is where the harness goes through the firewall. So I found the wire right here and I had connection. My meter beeped, and so I went from basically I cut the wire and went from over there to here, and I had nothing. So basically what that was telling me is there's a break between here and the steering column. So I ran this new blue wire from here over to the little pigtail I made. Basically, I found the wire coming out of the starter switch, or the ignition switch, and I cut it about 4 inches long. So basically I put this blue wire in to bypass the section that goes under here, and now the truck will crank with the key. So that took care of the key issue, but I'm still having issues with the truck not starting. Now, when we were cranking the other day, it didn't sound like it had any compression. And when a motor sits for as long as this one did, the rings can dry up. So like I showed you, I got this little bottle, stole it from the wife. It's actually she got it from Sally Beauty. It's for doing hair dye, but the little hole on the little spout on it's perfect for getting down into small places. So I've used it for filling high pressure oil pumps on Power Stroke 7.3s after I've done injectors. And so what I ended up doing is pulling all the glow plugs out. And this is a mixture of ATF, automatic transmission fluid, and a little diesel. And so I just dribbled a little bit down all 8 holes. And then I put a socket on here, and I rotated the engine over by hand. You know, rotated it by hand, put a little more, and then let it sit for 12 hours. When I came in the morning, rolled it over a little bit, put more in. So basically, what that's doing is it's using that oil to seal up the little tiny gaps in between the ring and the piston, or I'm sorry, between the ring and the cylinder, and so it's building your compression back up. So I've done that over the last few days, and then I went ahead and just installed new glow plugs. The other ones weren't trashed, but I mean, they were kind of distended, and some of them were bloated at the end. So, and these are little tiny glow plugs because it's an IDI engine, indirect injection. So went ahead and put brand new ones. Damn, it's raining. Went ahead and put new ones, and here we are. So the other day when we were cranking, we were still not getting fuel. Now, under here is what's called an FSS. It's a fuel shutoff solenoid. And because this is a mechanically injected diesel, there's no electronics to turn off to kill the engine, like on a 6.0 or 7.3, or the newer ones. When you turn the key off, it kills the fuel supply to the motor. Well, via the PCM or via the injectors. Well, this thing's 100% mechanical, so there was no way to shut the fuel off unless you have a shutoff solenoid. So basically, when you turn the key off, this little solenoid in here pulls a linkage and kills the fuel, thus killing the motor. Well, this one doesn't look like it's opening, because when we were cranking, I had that injector cracked back there and I was getting no fuel. So the other test is when you plug this in and you have the key on providing hot, you're supposed to be able to touch this and hear click, 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 click. Well, this one was just sparking, going tick, 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 and so there was no clicking. So what I think is the solenoid in here is stuck. It's either bad or stuck because the truck sat for so long. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this cap off, and I will show you what I find. All right, went ahead and pulled the cover off, and here's what you have in here. This is your throttle, and this is your little fuel shutoff rack. Well, mine was stuck, so I basically had to push it back and forward a couple times to free it. So now it's free, so I think we'll be okay. Let's go see what the solenoid does. All right, so this is the solenoid. Now, here's the negative, and then this is the positive, so we'll just touch it to the battery. There we go. It works. Sweet. So it was just stuck. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this feller up a little bit and grease her, and we'll go ahead and put her back together. I'll show you. All right, went ahead and mixed up a new concoction of some ATF and diesel, fresh diesel, because the crap in this tank is disgusting. ATF will help lube the injectors if she decides to fire. So let's see. All right, that should be good. All right, let me get the solenoid. Okay, now I'm gonna put this back on, but from everything I've read, you have to be very careful when you put this back, because if this is in the wrong place, then it can cause the engine to run away. So we don't want to do that. So we're gonna set it down like this. You set it and then slide it forward. From everything I've read, like I said, I've never done this before, but it would look as if when you turn the key, it pulls the solenoid forward and lets this fuel rack slide. So just kind of lube everything up a little bit. It's all sticky. There we go. So everything I've said, everything I've seen shows me to set it. Let's see. Set it on and slide it back like so. So let's go ahead and put the 3 bolts back in, and we'll see where we are. All right, got it back on. So what I'm gonna do is lube this guy up a little bit. Some silicone, because I didn't replace it. Put it right there. Now go ahead and thread this back on, and don't forget your throttle return spring. That just fell off. Of course it did. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish that guy out, and then we'll keep going. All right, she's back on. Now, as you can see, this guy's broken, which is commonly the case on these old trucks. I think I did it the other day when I was leaning over it like an idiot, but it has to do with the transmission vacuum. So I'm gonna go ahead and, now I don't think I can glue that, so I'm gonna go ahead and repair it at some point, but not right now. I'm just gonna leave that thing on there. Actually, I'll pull it off, so I'm not worried about it. So what we're gonna do is test the fuel solenoid. So I'm gonna go ahead and key on, engine off it, and we'll listen. All right, so key is on. Let's see if she clicks. She should. I don't want to open it back up. Nice. So that's there. So I know that this injector line is loose, but I think we're gonna go ahead and try. I'm gonna go ahead and open my door and turn the fans on. All right, well, here's the moment of truth. I'm not gonna lie, a little apprehensive. I don't know what this old girl's gonna decide to do, so. We'll see. Oh, duh, it's disconnected. All right, hooked the glow plugs up, hooked the starter solenoid up. Let's see what she does. I'm a little apprehensive because I don't know if this thing's gonna try to be stupid or anything, but we'll see. Let the glow plugs do their thing. Ooh, almost. I'm gonna stop and give it a break. All right, went ahead and snugged that injector line back up. Let's see what she does. This diesel's disgusting, so surprised if it'll run on it at all. Let's do the glow plugs again. Just want to make sure it's not trying to run away. There she goes. Hell yeah. She ain't running happy, but she's running. Holy shit. The whole shop's full of smoke. And she's idling. Wow. Hell yeah. 9 years, man. She's happy. I'm gonna open the doors and air this out. Well, as you saw, we got the truck running, and it was quite an undertaking to get it running because the thing sat for so long. So this video is a couple weeks after I got it running. Some things I want to do to it first. I'm not happy with the glow plug controller on that thing, as a lot of people know. In case you didn't, the earlier 6.9 IDI glow plug controllers screwed into the back of the driver's head, and they were temperature controlled, but basically what would happen is it would look at the water temperature and it would basically rudimentarily glow the glow plugs longer if the motor was cold. Well, they always freaking break, and when you go to change them, the baby's making noise. When you go to change them, they like to break off in the head, so I don't even want to dick with it. So what I'm gonna do is basically override the glow plug controller. Basically just get rid of it and put it on a push button so I can control how long the glow plugs run, and it'll ensure that the dang thing starts. So I want to do that, and then I got another project I want to do before I take it out on the road. But I'm just stoked the dang thing runs. I mean, you have no idea. Like, I'm so excited. I've never been excited about something that has so little power. It's like most people are excited about, 2,000 horsepower, drag trucks, and I'm excited about something that's making less than 150, I think. I don't remember what the spec was, but anyway, she's running. So I got a couple other things I got to do to it, and then we'll get her on the road and see how she does. But follow along and you'll see what we got next.